Live.
All right. Hello. Welcome back to the Autonomous Developer Sync, our bi-weekly Developer Sync, where we discuss all the things we've been working on, kind of our interactions with community, things that updates from Jim and such, and hopefully keep everybody up to speed on where we're at with the project. So jumping in, I thought I'd just start off today with a couple of highlights that we've reached or are about to reach, showcasing the longevity of the project. So first, we reached 3 million blocks, I think, last week. Is that right, Jim? Maybe into the previous week. And yeah, that's exciting. It's just a number, but it's still fun to celebrate. These million block kind of milestones. So we keep producing without issue on our consensus chain. Maybe even more impressive than that is just to highlight the amount of work that has gone into building the subspace protocol and autonomous network. We've reached, or about to reach, 10,000 commits on the subspace repo. So very exciting to see all the hard work that's gone into that, and it is kind of moving us into the next phase of our kind of life cycle, as we are heavily, very deeply into the preparatory work for the launch of phase 2, the enabling of transfers, and really having a fully live chain here very, very soon. I will save discussion of that for Ved. I think he's going to be catching us up on where we are for mainnet prep. But with that, Jim, when you jump into community highlights.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, so I add a little more color. So 3 million blocks on mainnet, yeah, absolutely. And since last we met, I think is probably the best way to do it. I think it happened on Thursday before last. So yeah, it was. That is a milestone, and of course that's testament to everyone. The whole community, farmers, developers, everyone who's contributing. And 10,000 commits is just such an amazing achievement. So yeah, big numbers. Right, from the community. So on the hot topics, we don't have anyone really experiencing any big problems. Or maybe you are. Let me know. Please do at me in Discord if you are experiencing some problems. We have made a couple of appeals now to upgrade to the latest mainnet pre-release. So we explained that this is, we're trying to bring that in a little bit slower than we normally do, just because it's been a while since we've upgraded mainnet. Everything's looking great so far, and in fact, I'm seeing reduced CPU usage. I'm seeing that reported from various other quarters as well. So yeah, we see that we are at 4.15% upgraded just before this call. I believe we're going to have a Space Acres release soon, which will unlock the over 50% of our farmers. So hopefully, yeah, if you haven't jumped in yet, no issues reported, please do upgrade to Juno 6 on mainnet. You'll be able to run more terabytes on your farm because you'll have reduced CPU. The other hot topic that I just want to touch on is we have had the Watcher's Oath entry. We're looking at it. It's an interesting one. It's from our perennial submitter, Ching Lizzie. So thank you for that. We are looking at it in the background in case you're watching out there on YouTube or LinkedIn or X today. Bear with us, and we will get back to you on the forum where you've posted that entry. But thank you again for your participation. Okay, so general updates from the community. We did conclude Cosmic Cultivators last week. We had 21 winners. I am working through the logistics. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through. People getting their prizes. The people who haven't, you haven't responded to my ping yet. So if you haven't, please do. I will be chasing you up in Discord. There was a really great piece on space pledged calculation on last week's farmer office hours. Saeed gave us a really robust breakdown on how it works. It's got something for everyone. You can go to my explanation, which is super simple, or you can dig into the maths that Saeed provides on the slides. I urge everyone to check it out. If you have any questions about how we calculate space pledge, please do check out farmer office hours from last week. Last Wednesday, but Saeed has also posted a really great forum post. So if you prefer digesting your content by reading it rather than watching it, check out the forum. It's in the research section. And I'm really pleased to see as well that there are a number of community members working on wallet power analysis tools. I know that Charlie, one of our ambassadors, has got something together. So he's measuring how, kind of reverse engineering, it's a little bit kind of an estimate, but based on how many rewards each wallet is earning, you can take a stab at working out how much space each wallet is pledging to the network. So yeah, really pleased to see some of those community efforts coming to fruition. Again, on Farmer Office Hours last week, there was a great community dashboard highlighted some statistics that I haven't seen before, presented really cool. Check it out. I'm not going to provide the link because I want you to go and find it on the Farmer Office Hours video. But particularly relevant to Developer Sync today because the creator, Blockchain Oracle, is a 2-times hackathon winner. And I'm very pleased to say he's also an ambassador. He came in the last intake, so very pleased about that. And then updates and what we're up to in the community team. We are working on our Dawn of Autonomy campaign. The mechanics, exactly how they're going to be deployed, are being worked through. We're in the kind of the minutiae at the moment, and I again urge everyone to watch this space for announcements. I think that's it from me today, Jeremy. A bit short.
That was short, Jim. All right. I know everybody's excited for our next section here in discussing the protocol. Some updates on the audit, some updates on mainnet prep. Ved, you want to?
Hey, everyone. Okay, jumping into it. Let's talk about audit. The audit is done for all the P1 specific PRs that include sudo, domain sudo, and XTM and everything included. The audit folks are currently wrapping up the things. Now coming back onto the mainnet prep, we have done multiple test runs locally internally within the team to actually see how the mainnet upgrade would ideally look like with all the compatibility checks and etc. So far, everything's looking good. We'll be doing the runtime upgrade pretty soon. We're just wrapping up some internal things. First will be mostly the client, that is a node, followed up by Space Acres, and then we'll be having a runtime upgrade after that. Yeah, as usual, let tag Jim if you find any issues with the latest June 6th node. We'd be really interested to know if there is anything wrong that we haven't seen yet or we haven't caught yet.
Great.
And there's one more last thing I totally missed. For those folks who have already upgraded, you might notice a bit of a lower number of peers. That is actually expected because there is a little bit of incompatibility in the networks between the Jan 14th and the June 6th upgrade. This is also one of the reasons why we've done a pre-release to actually test everything's working as expected. The network compatibility is still expected. So the more number of peers who moved to the latest release, the more peers the other peers would actually be able to connect to. So this is also one other reason. Keep the network healthy, try and upgrade as and when you get a chance. I think that's pretty much on mine.
Okay. And from a, when we look at the network stats, about half of the network is using Space Acres by node count. I don't know what that represents as far as space.
Yeah, that's 48%. That's 48% of the entire network.
Right. So I know that we'll be rolling out an upgrade for Space Acres here soon, which will allow a big chunk of the network to upgrade. So. All right. Astral. I know we've got a couple aspects here. Naman, you want to talk about front-end improvements we've been making?
Yes. So as we know from last 3 weeks, we are continuously working on the Astral Explorer performance. From the community itself, we came to know some of the pages were less performant. So that's why we have removed some of the features such as sorting and searching. And now, slowly, we are trying to add all the features one by one. So for this week, for the incentric and the events table, we have search by block hash. So from the block hash on the incentric and the events table, we can apply the filter, search. This is the features update. Apart from that, we are also working with some tools which can give us a report about which pages have some performance issues. So for that, we worked on a tool. It's kind of a GitHub workflow which will provide. It is called Web Vitals basically. So it provides a report about performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO on a percentage level from 1 to 100. And we have a threshold of 75. So if anything is less than 75, that means we have to work on that. So this is added in a CI/CD pipeline, and the local CI/CD pipelines covers only the major pages, which we think are more important. And for the local, we can get report for all the pages which are available to the Astral application. This was about the tools. Then there are some minor improvements done. One is a skeleton loader for the tables. So it is like earlier if our folks have seen, like for all the tables, we have a common loader added. So now it is a skeleton loader, which improve the user experience more. Like, okay, something is loading, it will show us. And there is one more loader that is called route loader. So if anybody have observed, whenever we click on any of the links on the Astral page, sometimes it looks like, okay, something got stuck, but behind the scene, there is something loading on the server. So there is a loader for that. You have frequently seen this in the GitHub application also. So that is also added. And there are some minor query updates done for the UX improvement. So yeah, these were updates for this week on the Astral.
I think adding that Web Vitals is really important, as obviously the more you measure, the easier it is to improve. Measurements
Yeah.
important in that step. So that will be great to see Astral loading fast everywhere you go, and hopefully be able to put back some of the features that we took away while we were working on these improvements. So the other side to that is the back end, so the indexers, which we've also kind of struggled with on some of the performance, and Saeed has been digging in over the last month to really kind of improve that process, both from some accuracy and from performance. Saeed, you want to give an update where we are?
Yeah, sure. We managed to make the system much faster in the previous version that we were indexing. So right now, when you wanted to index from the Genesis, it is faster, but still we have some bottlenecks when we hit the XTM over the blocks. Specifically, I wanted to make it more pointing out to the specific range of blocks. The main bottleneck is from 2,300,000 to 2,500,000 blocks. So these 200K blocks are the actual bottlenecks, which is not really bad, because right now our new indexer is, I'm seeing it's catch up with the tip. So we are going to have a slowly transition to the new version. That was the first thing. The second thing was my focus was over the staking. So the staking is very important, and we have some couple of issues or miscalculation on the staking. So I was busy to get that done. We believe we settled down on a really good design over the index staking, because there are a lot of calculation happening there. So it might happen that the indexer fell behind and the backend crashed, because currently many many of them is handling over the database triggers, and we are outsourcing them to another runtime and make it parallel to the indexing of the staking. So that's something that happened, and we will have like the result. It should match with the correct values that you are reading from the protocol. And the third is like a new completely designed to make the whole system scalable on this indexing. Right now, everything is managed from 1 DB, but in the new design that coming out is each one of the product that you're seeing from on the Astral, for example, files indexing or the block indexing or the staking indexing, will be isolated and they will manage by their own database. So it will help each one of these services to be much faster. Yeah, I guess that was all.
That's great. So the staking, just to kind of give an idea, when we switched from what I would say eagerly calculating on every epoch the kind of positions of all of the nominators to a more lazily evaluated that allowed us to scale and have a lot more nominators per operator, actually an unlimited amount of operators per nominator. It made calculating the current state of a nominator's position a lot more difficult. There's many steps, many calls to the RPC, and you have to kind of like branch and kind of figure out where each is. And it leaves a lot of room for potential kind of errors in that logic along those steps. And you know, a miscalculation of any one of those will kind of throw off the total. One of the things that we will be doing as well is coming out with a kind of runtime API that will allow you to, in one call, kind of get the state. So that will be coming, which should ease the burden on anybody who builds on top of Autonomous, not just ours, but you know, others are welcome to build their own staking interfaces and such. So, all right, moving on. Carlos, AutoDrive.
Yeah. So the last weeks, I've been really focused on the big file downloads, basically. As in the last week, like in the step sync, I spoke about async downloads for OutDrive that basically allow the users to, instead of directly download a file that is on the DSN, just ask the file cache, the caching layer, to save that file, and then the user would be able to download that cache. We realize that we have a similar problem when we are basically trying to fetch a file from AutoDrive. No, in AutoDrive from the DSN. And so basically, we wanted to solve this problem. Basically, that for big files like over 100 megabytes, the duration of the download was that long that the robustness of downloads was really poor, making frequently to be like canceled due to disconnections or other problems. So basically, we've created during these 2 weeks a protocol for handling this kind of downloads and make them recoverable. That it's one of the most important traits that these features should have. And now basically, when you are trying to fetch a file from the DSN, is fetched by chunks, not the whole file at once. That was like the first approach that we had. And every chunk that you're downloading is being cached. So in that manner, when you're, if for example, you're trying to download some file and for any reason your service is disconnected or something fails, you're not going to be enforced to download the whole file again, but the previous chunks could be already cached. So the download would start where the failure occurred. And yeah, this was like the biggest improvement that we've been working on AutoDrive. Also, one other improvement or fix that we got working is the marking as archive mechanism that was having some problems due to the difficulty to sync up mainnet nodes and some application layer issues that we were having. But now it's working fine, and yeah, like files being archived are only like 3 hours away from the current time.
All right, great to see continual improvements in AutoDrive, and I'll just note that we've also seen significantly more activity in AutoDrive. I think our usage is up many hundreds of percent over the last few weeks. So that is also great to see as we're onboarding partners. All right. Well, I think that is all I had. Is there, Jim?
There's a couple of questions, Jeremy. I don't know if you want to take them or I can, if you'd rather. If I pop them on the screen. So we have Astral and staking function. So I can't read your name, my apologies, but I think from your other comments you might be Ching Lizzy. So Astral and staking function, is it necessary to complete it before TGE? Correct me if I'm wrong here, Jeremy, but yeah, we don't need to complete it before TGE. Completing Game of Domains is on the list, but if you look at our roadmap, you'll see that we needed to test certain things around domains. XDM, obviously, with crossing the narrow sea was the big one. So I'm going to say no there. It is not necessary to complete it before TGE.
It's worth noting there when we launch phase 2, so enable domains, the initial operator set is going to be internally run, and so the whole process of like going through and setting up the operator via Astral is going to be less necessary. It can be done via Polkadot.js, and the operators themselves will be internally run, and then we'll be like open it up to still in a permissioned way. So there'll be kind of a progression of going from permissioned internal to permissioned to permissionless as we get through the different testing from Game of Domains. So from a requirement of day one, having a nice UI for that isn't necessarily as important as having that UI when it does roll out be kind of rock solid. And so there's no question as far as to the accuracy of that. So we need to be able to get that updated and tested before rolling that out fully. So
Thanks for the question, Chiglizzy. So basically we're going to adjust the way the permissions basically to which in turn adjusts the trust assumptions we need to make. So that means that we don't need to get to the end of the full testing that we have planned. But great question, thank you. And another question here: when is incentivized Game of Domains launching? So this is kind of related, I guess, but we do want the UI before we kick off Game of Domains stage 1. I assume you're referring to. There are incentivized phases afoot, like the Watcher's Oath, and we've run Crossing the Narrow Sea. But assuming you're talking about incentivized operating and nominating stage 1, we do want the UI in place. We want that tested, and the update that Saeed and Jeremy gave brought you bang up to date. It sounds like we're close with an indexer that has the latest version of our our data, I guess, the shape. That doesn't mean that's the end of it. That means we can start testing against it. But I have mentioned this in the community before. We kind of made a bit of a rod for our backs as far as all those XDMs that everyone sent with Crossing the Narrow Sea. It makes it it takes a while to crunch through that part of the network where we were, what have we got? Something like 4 million XDMs in total. It takes a while for our indexers to crunch through those. So yeah, watch this space, Crypto Crazy Miner. And thanks for the question.
All right. With that, thank you for joining us today, whether live or watching this on the recorded version. What are all the things, Jim? Like, share, follow.
Yeah, turn on notifications so you never miss a dev sync again. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay. All right. Thank you.